Make-it-yourselfers and carnivores. Today I have a fun recipe for you, but I have to admit that not everybody is going to be down with this recipe. Hear me out. I want to show you how to make a carnivore rice. Now, I know a lot of people get hung up on the idea of making non-carnivore type recipes with carnivore type ingredients. And then they say, oh, it's just like vegans trying to make meats out of non-meats. In this case, it's not about necessarily missing a food. When you want to make some of these pantry staples, it's because you're used to eating foods in a certain way that you can't just do normally on a carnivore type diet. And the idea is that if you are eating little pieces of meat, whether it's in a sauce or not, you just have the idea of accompanying it with something like rice, or just to have something to accompany your steak. You can use it as a side. But some people like variety in their diet. Some people actually enjoy trying to make certain recipes and make things fun and don't want to just eat a steak every day. And of course, you can make these recipes as elaborate as you want, but this could be as simple as just scrambling up some eggs and breaking it up into little tiny pieces. And I have to say that I have done that several times and it works out really well. So then there's going to be people who will criticize that and say, well, that's not rice, it is just scrambled eggs broken up into little pieces. Well, yes, but it's that idea of being able to eat something in a fun and new way. I honestly could eat a steak every day, but the rest of my family is not that way, and they look for fun new recipes. And I have even been trying things out like butter chicken, and it's great on a carnivore rice. So this is great for any sort of ketogenic diet too. If you're looking something and you don't like something like cauliflower rice, or for some reason you can't have cauliflower or don't want to eat it, then this is for you. Now, this is going to make a bright yellow rice because I am going to be using the entire egg. You can make something that looks more like a white rice by just using egg whites, and you can even use cartoned egg whites. I'm sure you could probably rehydrate powdered egg whites. I don't know. I don't generally use those sorts of ingredients. I have my own hens and these are their eggs, and I'm always looking for fun new ways to incorporate eggs into my diet. I have to admit that I did not like eggs growing up. I ended up, when we would go out for breakfast with family, having to order things like bagels and pancakes and that sort of thing just because I've never liked eggs. Over the years, I've gotten used to eating them, and I really have to admit that I love them in this recipe. And it's basically just egg, so go figure. Like I said, if you just want a very, very simple recipe, all you have to do is just scramble up some eggs and then break it up into little tiny pieces, fry it, and you have little tiny pieces that you can serve like a rice. But if you want something that tastes just a tad bit more authentic and has a little bit more of the texture of rice, then you can add one more ingredient to your carnivore rice, and that is gelatin. And the thing is this gelatin will just thicken things up a bit, and it just gives the rice a texture that's more like what you're used to when you're eating rice. To me, when I'm eating this, I'm envisioning myself eating a fried rice. It tastes a lot like that because fried rice, of course, is made with bits of egg in it, and the egg flavor overtakes the rest of it. So basically, I feel like I'm eating a fried rice, but without the rice. This is actually great for making ahead and storing in the fridge because you'll notice that it will even take on more consistency. As the gelatin chills, it will harden up a bit and it makes more of a rice texture. And then when you just gently heat it, it will keep some of that texture. So this is great for making ahead. I like to make this when I'm going to be making a recipe for the family, and I will make this ahead. My son prefers regular rice for now, so I generally make a little bit for him of just regular rice, and then I incorporate some of this into it. So, and I add a lot more eggs. So I make him more of a traditional fried rice, and my husband and I prefer this. But this is a very simple recipe, so I'm going to show you how to make it. Here I'm using 6 whole eggs. That's enough for one meal for 2 of us to accompany something else. You're going to want to beat the eggs really well and then add in the gelatin as you're mixing, just so that you don't get any big clumps. You might still get some, and you can let it sit for a while and let the gelatin bloom in the egg mixture. You can also press against the sides and try to break up the lumps, but the best way to get rid of the lumps is to mix it with an electric beater. Here you can see I'd already mixed it with electric beater, and it's pretty free of lumps. This is a great recipe for using frozen eggs. I have hens, so sometimes I have too many eggs, and this is a great way to save them for when I don't have as many. Here I'm using a pasteurized egg white to make a white rice. I don't like the flavor as much, but it is an option if you want something that looks more like rice. Now, I tested out several ways of cooking the egg. This is in the oven, but you can also do it similarly in an air fryer, and it works pretty well. You bring it out every once in a while, and it will cook more along the edges, so you want to mix things up, and then you will continue to cook that until the eggs are fully cooked. So that is one way to do it, and you can also break up any large chunks by breaking it up either with your spatula or in a food processor. I prefer making it in a pan, just frying it over a pan and breaking it up with my spatula as I go, but for making a large quantity, an oven might be more convenient. Here you can see I am cooking this in some lard. I generally have some bacon grease or lard or tallow from other things that I've cooked. You want to make sure that the pan is hot, so you can try with a little bit before adding the rest of your egg mixture into the pan. I don't use non-stick pans, so sometimes I do get a little bit of sticking. That's really easy to remedy with a stainless steel spatula. I just make sure to get up all the bits that are sticking, and once it's mostly cooked, it won't stick anymore. I generally just break up the little bits with my spatula. You can see here I'm just really breaking up into small pieces, but some people will use their food processor to break it up. Once you're finished cooking it, you can serve it immediately, but I like to make it ahead and then refrigerate it because the rice will get more consistency in the fridge, and then you can just reheat it up. It's very simple to reheat right before serving. You just use a little bit more fat. Because it's already been cooked, you really just need to gently warm it. Once you've reheated it, you're ready to serve it. Here we're serving it with a buttered chicken. You can see it's really great for soaking up the sauces in a dish like this one. So you can see how simple that was. This is some carnivore rice that I made the other day. And look, you can serve it with chopsticks. You can have a lot of fun with it. And it's just great for serving any type of meat with a sauce over it. This would be great for somebody on a keto or ketovore type diet. But again, you can just use it as a side with whatever else you're eating, just to break up the monotony a little bit. You could also add a little bit of soy sauce, even homemade. I have recipes for that on the blog. But again, make this as complex or as simple as you want. You could just use regular eggs. You could do this with egg whites to get a more traditional looking rice, and just have fun with it. I prefer the flavor of the full egg. But again, to each their own. Have fun with it, customize. I really hope you enjoyed this recipe. If you did, I would love for you to give it a thumbs up and for you to subscribe to this channel for more recipes like this one. Until next time.